Welcome one and all to another amazing night here in Tranquility.
We absolutely are in for a treat of a match here tonight, no question about it.
And the grenade from Pomku eliminating everybody on the field.
Now between something as well is going to be a fly as a death block them, and it's going to be huge. Fighting three.
The double kill with the Bastion ulti? Alright, I see you guys.
For B-Well, look to find a stick there, finds the stick, they find two with it!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
And Cam with the four-man punch off the map!
Experience tranquility.
As the Cosmic Castaways take on SEAL Team Spuds in a battle between pirates and potatoes. I am joined, again, of course, by the community legend Nerfed. Nerfed, how's it going?
You're always so ready to hype me up, Jonesy.
This is what I do. This is why they pay me. Wait, I'm not getting paid?
I'll get you the checks for Bronze Mancer. Don't worry, they'll come eventually.
Very nice.
But I'm excited to be here. This is a match that historically has been very, very close. This was the season 8, I believe, preseason finals. And it went all the way to 7. Then we saw it a couple more times throughout the course of that season. And I believe we might have seen it at least one time back in season 9. And I think throughout all of those matches, these two teams have been pretty close. However, if you've been paying attention to Discord tier for this season, you would know that the Castaways are they're top 5 in like most people's rankings. They're very much hailed as a great team, whereas the Spuds, I personally don't feel like we've had the accurate sample size to know where they're at. So I think this is definitely a match that Spuds are looking to prove themselves in, whereas Castaways are looking to secure their spot, get the 4-0, get the 4-0 on their record, and keep up their streak.
Totally agreed. And first map here is going to be Busan. Again, jumping into today's match, these are obviously two massive and legendary organizations in Tranquility. The magnitude of this match cannot be understated. These types of matches only happen a few times per season, and we are graced with the ability to cast this match. So obviously on the Cosmic Castaways are currently 3-0 with a +8 map differential. And the SEAL Team Spuds are 2-1 with 1 bye win and a +3 map differential. So again, not a big sample size from SEAL Team Spuds, are essentially 1-1. And the battle tags that we got here, so looking at the Cosmic Castaways, we have Magic Otter on the tank, Aphex on DPS, Yoon on DPS. Then we have Onyx on support and QB on support. I'm partial to Onyx, having played with him in the past. Then, of course, we have Water, Crimson, Zunix, Sleepy Eels, and Sparks on the SEAL Team Spuds. We are just jumping straight away here. We can hear this match just fine, by the way, Prod, thank you. So, jumping in immediately, we're already seeing some brawl compositions, ultimately coming out from both teams here with that Baptiste-Lucio backline. It's going to be able to keep the front line importantly alive as they're jumping in, immediately scoring up and almost flipping the map, as we're seeing a lot of the members of SEAL Team Spuds already getting low, and Aphex getting an instant pickoff onto Sparks. That's going to set the momentum going as Aphex finds another onto Sleepy Eels. That's the front line down on the side of SEAL Team Spuds. The Cosmic Castaways already showing that they have proficiency on this brawl composition. They're just going to need a cap here, Nerf.
Yeah, definitely the standard comp we've seen even since back in Overwatch 1 is the brawl here. Aphex was just hitting shots. That's what else can I say, really? Magic Otter took the space that this team needed to create space for Aphex, and that's really what a lot of this the success that I think people get is going to come from. With
Totally
Shatter,
agreed.
from Water.
An attempted shatter, but it looks like it might have been booped, as we see an obvious opportunity for Sleepy Eels to block that. Now, one shatter might be down on the side of Cosmic Castaways, but they've still got some incredible map presence here. This is going to be really challenging to push through this staircase. It looks like SEAL Team Spuds are opting to just flip and rotate here as they're looking to see if they can pop out of the other gate, but it looks like they might be faking it. They're coming out fast, going straight onto Yoon. Yoon is caught out. Yoon using cooldowns here to just stay alive as SEAL Team Spuds are able to cancel that immediately. Yoon taken down, but with Zunix going down on the side from Magic Otter jumping in, it looks like this is currently an even fight. And it looks like we're going to be able to keep alive. Onyx showing some proficiency on the Baptiste, able to keep alive Magic Otter critically as they're walled off, able to hop over that, and that's just some incredible support play from Onyx. They're able to bail out their tank and ultimately win the fight.
That's crazy. The bait and switch from Spuds caught Yoon so off guard, and she fell. Like, she had no way to escape from all that Spuds threw at her. But unfortunately, they were so preoccupied with getting the kill onto the Mei that the Castaways were just able to swarm in, take some space, pop the window, and win the fight.
Absolutely. It looks like it was bait in that fight. Already we're seeing the high noon committed and the beat on the side of SEAL Team Spuds as they're trying to just get through this area. It looks like they will be able to. Both Blizzards committed now as Sleepy Heels is able to take down Yoon with an aggressive charge onto the point. But with Aphex finding water, now that's both Mays down for both teams, but with Zunix taking down Aphex, now that's Cassidy down on the side of Cosmic Castaways. And it looks like the map is already going to flip in the side of SEAL Team Spuds as they're finding at least 3 or 4 early on in this. Some really great ability to take space there on the side of SEAL Team Spuds, finally breaking through that very challenging choke.
And what's so great about that fight is Castaways dumped pretty much everything. They'll be close on another window, but they dumped everything into that fight and they lost. So Spuds now with a big ult advantage, having the high noon and the window, they'll be looking to secure this fight and maybe even the next one, that ult economy.
Absolutely, and Crimson dropping down the window from that orthogonal angle, already being able to find some massive value out of it as Sparks finds a headshot on QB, and Sparks again with you, and Sparks just absolutely popping off, finding a lot of opportunity here to get some serious damage from the mid and back line on the side of SEAL Team Spuds. So it looks like this is already going the way of SEAL Team Spuds. It's just a matter of cleaning things up here. As Aphex, though, able to turn this around, find Sparks, and Water, though, taking down Magic Otter, means that I think the push is away here on the side of Cosmic Castaways.
Yeah, I think for all of these fights so far, Yoon has played a little bit too aggressive and gotten caught out, and that's not something you'd like to see. Definitely looking to play a little bit more. Oh,
Yeah, and it looks like we may be running into
yeah.
some minor technical difficulties here as stream may have paused there for
I
some
thought that
folks.
was just me.
No, that is all of us together here. Nerf. We are all one in the lag, as of course our production today being led from Laggyson. You should expect there to be a little bit of lag in production. Jokes aside, Prod team is absolutely murdering it, of course, as always today. So just some minor technical difficulties. We jump back in.
I'm just like watching, like, I can't see. I guess I've just gotta keep making stuff up. But no, I guess that was an everyone issue. But yeah, as I was saying, I think Yoon just has to play a little bit more passive, so that they can land the Mei walls for the Castaways. That's kind of the advantage that Spuds have, is that Water is doing a lot on the Mei, and Yoon just it doesn't feel like she's getting caught out early, and they're not able to capitalize on the benefits that Mei brings to the fights. So yeah.
Totally agreed. I think something that we're seeing here is Cosmic Castaways are playing a very controlled and regimented style, something that you would kind of anticipate going into this. I think it's really exciting to see SEAL Team Spuds kind of playing a little bit like unusually, in that they'll kind of fake one direction and find themselves going in another, and really catching Cosmic Castaways out there. And so it looks like right now, I think Cosmic Castaways just need to find that communication piece to be able to quickly analyze and assess the situation, so they can get on the same page in some of these fights and be able to execute in them just a little bit more effectively. But already we've seen, like, clearly these are some like highly skilled players on both sides. Really fun to watch, especially when we're seeing, you know, windows being taken advantage of very effectively from Cassidy's on both sides. And then, of course, we're seeing some really impressive space being created actually from the maze. I do think that the double blizzard drop definitely favored SEAL Team Spuds, as both blizzards were down. But if you look at how the space that was being created for both sides, if anything, the first initial blizzard from SEAL Team Spuds definitely opened up space for them to be able to take the high ground advantage. And I think that kind of set the pace and the momentum for the fight moving forward. I think that was a really effective play there. The response, Blizzard, definitely helped to ensure that SEAL Team Spuds couldn't move onto the point, but that high ground advantage is just going to ultimately kind of slowly win you out in the resources fight. And that's going to tend to kind of swing the momentum in your direction as the mid-fight progresses. So obviously, again, we're seeing some pretty impressive brawl compositions being played on both sides. This is a composition that has kind of somewhat recently found its way into the metagame, as Baptiste saw some relevant buffs in the somewhat recent balance patch. And so
yeah.
yes, and so we're seeing some effective brawl compositions now getting played, whereas you would normally have expected to see, ball composition. Obviously, this map, Mecha Base at Busan, definitely favors the brawl composition. It's possible to play ball comp here, but it tends to be a very unusual and very kitey style that can tend to really struggle unless you have some extremely proficient shot calling, as well as some very effective DPS and organization. So with all that in mind, we're jumping right back in here into the match. And again, we are already onto our next map. And it looks like Cosmic Castaways took away this previous match. So we are now 0-1 with Cosmic Castaways after the first point here. So we're on to our second point. Looks like Cosmic Castaways were able to cap the point and already at 23% and counting, as Sleepy Eels able to take down Magic Otter already in this fight. That's a critical pick now, as the tank is no longer able to stall the point. That's going to mean likely a pretty solid cap here coming from the side of Steel Team Spuds, as we are now going into the mid-fight here, Nerfed.
Castaways are able to hold on to this though, and they've stalled long enough for Magic Otter to come back. Now they're getting some picks, and Sleepy Eels and Crimson will go down. It looks like this is just going to be Castaways' fight. So what's interesting about the support comp that Spuds are playing, running the Ana instead of the Brig, is it allows for a lot more sustain, because the Ana has a lot more has a lot more fast-paced healing than the Brig, but it's a lot less protection as well for Crimson. So the Zen can get caught out a lot easier. And if you know anything about the Castaways, you know that Magic Otter is insane at ball. So giving him opportunities to take dives on your backline, that's not ideal.
Exactly, and speak of the devil and he shall arise, as we found, speaking about the ball composition, again, we're seeing it on both sides here with Sparks with an incredible pulse bomb. Finds both supports. We talked about how the support line from Steel Team Spuds might be exploitable, but Sparks just says, no, actually Cosmic Castaways are exploitable. Let me show you how. And finds a stick onto both of them now, as it's just essentially a cleanup game, as now the SEAL Team Spuds have an incredible amount of momentum with no supports. There's just nothing that Cosmic Castaways frontline can do other than kind of roll around and just try to kite as long as possible. Some incredible gameplay, though, I will say. Cosmic Castaways able to hold that point all the way to 99% despite their support line going down, and they're already back now for another fight.
Yeah, that was some nuts stall. They got up to 99. And the Spuds weren't able to cap the point for a long time. And with the stall as well, they're already back into another fight. We'll see some ults popped early. Onyx comes in with the trance, and it looks like with all this sustain coming out from the Castaways and the pick onto water, this could very easily be in their favor.
Absolutely. Again, we're seeing the support line really starting off very strong here into the fight, really setting the momentum in the favor of the Cosmic Castaways, as Yoon is able to find these targets quickly and effectively. It looks like there's a lot of effective shot calling and prioritization of targets going on the side of Cosmic Castaways, as they're not only able to CC the enemy targets, but then finish them down with damage on the side of Yoon. So really some, again, effective gameplay now coming from Cosmic Castaways, as we're at the overtime ticker already ticking down here, 99% on the side of Cosmic Castaways. This is SEAL Team Spuds' last chance to be able to make any movement here, but with Apex hitting an incredible headshot onto Sparks, that's going to take down two now. Two headshots coming from Apex. Able to take down two with that ultimate. That's an effective use of an ultimate there, as QB is now cleaning things up, and it looks like Cosmic Castaways will take map 1 with 2 points to 0 in their favor, showing proficiency on not one, but 2 compositions.
Aphex it was doing a lot in that last fight. Aphex, I believe, was a prior CS pro, but a CS pro in the sense that we're all Trank pros, Overwatch pros in Trank. They'll put them on a character like the Sojourn, where it's just click head simulator, and Aphex will pop off. Definitely one of the stronger characters in their wheelhouse, and it showed in that last fight, being able to get a couple picks. and pretty much turn the tide of the fight in the final actual fight before the stall.
It's always interesting to see players come from other games because you can see kind of how, especially if you have like limited experience in Overwatch, you can see in some cases like incredible mechanical skill or incredible positioning skill on the side of like a tank or a support player. And then you might see like gaps in other areas. And so what's great about Overwatch is it kind of finds a way to blend all these different skills together. And so only the most effective teams have players without those gaps in any individual portion of gameplay. So Overwatch is a really incredible game to watch for that reason. And we're already jumping now into next map here, which is King's Row. So an exciting one. Looks like SEAL Team Spuds have just decided that their best shot against Cosmic Castaways is likely in the Brawl Mirror, as King's Row is often the Brawl Mirror map, right? Very much known for that Reinhardt gameplay, able to take advantage of the short to mid range distances in the fights. And it looks like we are now already 1-0 with Cosmic Castaways leading so far after map 1.
Yeah, I agree with the Castaways pick here, or not Castaways, rather, Spuds pick here to go to King's Row. Because when when Busan looked closest, it was when it was in the Brawl Mirror. That was when Castaways, I think, looked at their weakest. They definitely want to be putting Magic Otter on the ball. That's where they look the strongest. And Spuds as well, they had enough coordination that they were able to win out some key fights against the Castaways on Mecha Base, where you didn't really see that. They won one fight where they dumped a lot of ults in on Sanctuary, and yeah, you just want to get away as much as possible from the ball comp, put it on your best comp, which is arguably the Brawl, and I think that that's where Spuds will benefit the most from this map.
Absolutely, and hopefully we get to see, because again, we didn't get a chance to see the close of that first point on Busan, so it's hard to say necessarily from the Brawl comp perspective kind of which team is eking out success in these fights. So it'll be interesting to see. Now we'll get a chance on King's Row to be able to kind of rehash that question, and I'm really excited to see that, especially considering the fact again that King's Row is a map that tends to focus on momentum. So especially as you move through second point, if you have a strong enough second point, third point can sometimes just go without question. It's really not until you get to the last couple meters of third point that you start to really see a shift in momentum, oftentimes, depending on the success or failure of second point. So it'll be really interesting to see, because it's those like 1 to 2% differences in teams' ability to execute that can sometimes result in some serious momentum, moving them in the direction of what could look like a sweep of a map. So again, we're jumping into King's Row. Again, we have two very impressive and large and historical and legendary organizations battling it out here this evening. Again, with Cosmic Castaways and SEAL Team Spuds. Some of my favorite players, in fact, are on these teams. I've played with a few of the players on these teams, so this is a real pleasure to be able to cast this evening.
Ex-Galactic players.
That's right. And already we are seeing the Brawl compositions coming out. But interestingly enough, you're seeing a different. Sorry, you got Yoon blocking off Aphex as Aphex turns around and says, "Really, really," and then just goes back to normal. But you're seeing an interesting thing now, Nerfed, on the side of SEAL Team Spuds with the Bastion selection. Now, whether or not that stays, we'll see.
I think
but
it will.
oftentimes you can see the Bastion able to find some serious frontline pressure, able to knock down a Reinhardt shield and get a lot of tempo for your team, since Rush really likes to do that. It likes to rush.
Bastion has snuck his way into the meta, and specifically in the Brawl comps, and a lot of people are swapping him for the Cassidy. I am very excited to see how Spuds use their rotations on this map, and already rotating straight around the statue, and able to get pretty much on the point for free.
You love to see that. They're really planning around their Bastion's shift key, as Bastion commits the first shift, but it's going to be about 11 seconds before they're able to get it back online. As Sparks now, they're just waiting for that shift to come online, but they're seeing, unfortunately, no cap percentage yet. Finally, they're getting that started as they're looking to pressure them into Hotel. With Sparks taking down Nyx's Immortality Field now, that's a significant resource loss now on the side of Cosmic Castaways. So SEAL Team Spuds really looking to take advantage of that pressure now as they're moving in to see if they can't get any kills with this already. Now,
Wow.
Yes, the Baptiste drops the enhancement field here as we're looking at some kills now coming on the side of Cosmic Castaways. So they're able to find a lot of success by rotating all the way through Hotel and using their support ultimates, able to then rotate the momentum in their favor.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Otter lived there. He pinned into a corner, and it looked like the Spuds were going to be able to take him down. But unfortunately, he gets the peel needed. Great play from Nyx and QB there to be able to keep him up. Aphex will come back on the Sojourn, which is an interesting pick. I think that they're trying to do that to counter the Bastion, able to take the Bastion down a lot faster than the Casti would be able to. And it's also able to kind of counter the shift from the Bastion, which is by far and away his best ability.
I love to see the knowledge of tempo and rotation from Cosmic Castaways as they simply rotate away from the fight whenever the Bastion shift is up. And already, with the wall now down, that's going to be Sleepy Eels taken down from an incredible wall now on the side of Yoon, and that's a team wipe already going into our second fight. A very quick and effective fight now coming out from Cosmic Castaways is, again, they're showing some really incredible shot calling and some incredible knowledge, again, of tempo for these fights. It looks like they practiced against this composition as you see them executing almost like it's a recipe for success.
Yeah. I said the rotations were important because on Busan, the Castaways were not able to adapt well to some sneaky rotations from the Spuds. But it feels like they know exactly what to do here against the Bastion. They have a better read on it, just back up, give the Bastion some space when he uses his shift, and then re-engage when you have the advantage in the fight.
Absolutely, and now a lot of resources being dropped on the side of SEAL Team Spuds is looking to commit everything to take this point. It looks like they will find some success early on now with kills onto Magic Otter and Yoon. Those are two incredibly important frontline pressure from the Cosmic Castaways taken down as Aphex finds their way around to the top high ground, and it looks like we did commit the beat late into that fight. Probably a misclick there on the side of Zunix, but no harm, no foul, as importantly, first point is now taken.
I wonder what the call was there, if there was any. It could very much just have been a misclick. I've been there before, but it is very interesting that the Castaways are able to stall for long enough to beat out another ult, and now all they have to do is just weather the Bastion ult, which is arguably the weakest ult in the entire Spuds lineup. So just weather that. You guys have 3 ults of your own. Castaways are able to win this fight pretty handily, I think, if they can use their ults correctly.
And an incredible shatter finding the whole team as Otter absolutely decimates the entirety of SEAL Team Spuds, able to find that perfect timing with the shield still up on the side of the SEAL Team Spuds, but Otter able to find that little window of time to find the shatter. That's some very effective and incredible Ryan play. I love to see it. Former tank player myself, I can see greatness when I see it. Love to see that from Cosmic Castaways as they're able to commit, it looks like, the shatter and potentially also the window, but they still are looking at Sojourn's ultimate, so they may just be able to, as the map flips very aggressively here. SEAL Team Spuds playing very aggressively on this high ground, committing the window, and they should be able to, but it looks like Cosmic Castaways are able to peel so effectively here, Nerf.
Yeah, Aphex will get walled inside of this hallway. However, breaking the wall down, you can just push them all away from that sight lines with the OC. And Spuds have backed away. They've given up a lot of space, and now Sparks just barely will get out of that fight from the Pope. That's really good peel from Crimson and Zunix being able to keep the Bastion up there. The supports in this game have been insane so far.
Absolutely, this is really a support showcase as if you're confused why the payload isn't moving, that's because the map was flipped like 20 seconds ago. But with Magic Otter, it looks like really Yoon's Blizzard able to catch a lot of SEAL Team Spuds out. They're just able to clean that fight up, and Cosmic Castaways coming up on a lot of ultimates, but SEAL Team Spuds also looking at a lot of ultimates. This has been really a joust of a fight, and it looks like, yes, SEAL Team Spuds
going for the same rotation, and I think at least they could drop through this window. And they will actually. I would not like to see that same rotation again. They'll pop 2 ults in this fight, and this is looking early, like it's Spud's favor.
Absolutely, but with Magic Otter getting taken down, that's so critical now. A Reinhardt versus no Reinhardt, and Cosmic Castaways already know the tempo's not in their favor. They're gonna back. This is gonna be at least 2 corners now taken for SEAL Team Spuds, as Magic Otter steps just a little bit too far forward, and Sleepy Eel's able to punish it with an aggressive pin into the cafe. Able to take Magic Otter down now, as it looks like we probably won't expect to see any more wacky map flips as Aphex, if I'm
Aphex
not
is
mistaken,
gonna
going for a
flip it.
cheeky flank onto the high ground right as I say it, and we see it.
He's got to build the OC here, and it looks like it's just going to be the Shatter here early. We could see it with the beat being dropped in as well. We could see Aphex decide to use the OC, and I'm looking forward to it. I want to see Aphex get a 4K. But we'll see the Bastion ult coming out from Sparks.
The
as
Rhine is so
the Castaways
low.
have to back up, yeah.
And it looks like, if we're watching
he's
this
down.
correctly, a massive shatter from Magic Otter, but an incredible play from Zunix. The beat was wasted early this fight, but it was not wasted in the second fight, as Zunix able to keep the entire team up after Magic Otter's incredible shatter. And it looks like that a massive amount of momentum shift is going to result in SEAL Team Spuds taking second point. It really starts to, you start to wonder and start to scratch your head whether some of those flanks were worth it, as it looks like SEAL Team Spuds, by sticking together and playing aggressively, they're able to pick off the targets that matter and continue to move the momentum now. We talked earlier about how second point matters so much for the momentum going into the third point, and we're seeing it here now as SEAL Team Spuds able to take so much space while Cosmic Castaways look to regroup.
Zunix is definitely fighting the allegations with that second beat. Definitely a lot better than the first one. Aphex will find Crimson early in this fight, and the Blizzard will be popped from Castaways. This is just a quick fight from them. They'll be able to take it when they have their members up, and they're able to take back some of the space that the SEAL Team Spuds took early. And they'll just straight up win the fight. One ult used, one pick from Aphex, and that's a recipe for success.
It's genuinely shocking to see how effective Mei has suddenly become in the meta, as Mei is like a Blizzard dropped is a fight won essentially most of the time, especially the Mei that's able to use it aggressively and effectively. We're finding a lot of success as now Crimson drops the amplification matrix. That's going to create a lot of space now for them as SEAL Team Spuds move forward into that space. But with Nyx dropping their own, it looks like this might now shift the momentum as Aphex able to find some impressive shots now onto the Bastion, and Aphex taking out Crimson. That's got to be a fight win now on the side of Cosmic Castaways as they effectively use the map geometry in their favor. We see the shatter come from Magic Otter, able to pick off the last few. Questionable as it may not have been necessary already with a couple targets down, but we're in overtime, so use everything, use it all. Magic Otter able to close out the fight therefore, and this is going to be 2 points and 46 meters remaining for the side of SEAL Team Spuds on this offense.
That was a very aggressive take from Crimson at the beginning of that fight, trying to jump up onto the high ground. It did not look like the play that we needed, that the Spuds needed. They lose all their sustain pretty much off of that one pick, and from there Sleepy Eels is low, they can't get the peel they need to survive, and the rest of the Spuds just fall. And in a final fight scenario, trying to make a hero play like that onto Aphex on the Sojourn, I don't think it's exactly what SEAL Team Spuds needed, even if it's what they felt like they wanted in that fight.
Agreed, and you love to see the production able to produce just those quick snip highlights from the match. You love to see Zunix's incredible beat there, again on second point. I would argue that without that beat, SEAL Team Spuds don't cap second. So we'll see if that ends up mattering here, as Cosmic Castaways need to push past second point now in order to win out this map. They've got quite a road ahead of them, but they've shown how they're able to use tempo and understand the tempo of the fight so effectively. To be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that SEAL Team Spuds have opted to continue going with the Bastion here, as I don't know that I saw a ton of effectiveness coming from that particular pick, as it looks like Cosmic Castaways are able to kite it pretty effectively. But it is different when you're on offense. So we'll see whether that changes things here as we jump into our first fight. Already, Magic Otter looking to pause for a moment as we're just seeing, okay, where's the enemy team positioned here? As SEAL Team Spuds immediately and aggressively are pushing from outside, from behind the statue here, a massive fire strike. Sleepy Eels already to take down Yoon. That's a very important pick now, as Sleepy Eels should be able to get a lot of freedom here to just move forward as Sparks takes down Nyx. That's going to be an important... Otter going in... Otter being pinned very deep now into spawn, but it looks like the Reinhardt from SEAL Team Spuds might be pushing a little too far here as they overextend into the spawn.
No.
Nerfed, what's going on?
The Spuds got way too tunnel visioned on that Reinhardt kill there. I think Zunix wanted to try to get Sleepy Eels out, but Sleepy Eels was not backing down until he had the main tank diff. And unfortunately, it just did not come because the rest of the Castaways were able to flank behind the Reinhardt and pick him down.
And a huge shatter from Magic Otter to stealth first point. Magic Otter showing so much proficiency on the Reinhardt now, as it's really up to SEAL Team Spuds now to push into Cosmic Castaways space. This now starts to feel more like the map is just in the favor of Cosmic. Such a critical error potentially there in decision making as we really push for that front line that peels so far back into spawn. But you know what? This is an opportunity now for SEAL Team Spuds. Now there's some fear in Cosmic that, hey, this team could just do anything. We don't know what the heck they're gonna do anymore. So now it's a matter of, okay, we need to be more careful, and that might work in SEAL Team Spud's favor. I love the aggressive plays, and I want to see them successful as both Maywalls go down here, and it looks like neither will get any purchase as both teams able to kind of crack through them, as we're seeing a lot of resources now being lost, but a huge shatter now from Sleepy Eels, able to take down Nyx. That's a really important support now down on the side of Cosmic Castaways, but Cosmic able to respond with a kill onto Water and Sleepy Eels. That's a front line completely dismantled on the side of SEAL Team Spuds, and they're just gonna be able to move into that space now, and this may be a second point take unless SEAL Team Spuds can regroup and get to that point before this payload makes it there.
Otter just has no respect for Eels. Like, Eels could land a massive shatter, just take so much space, and Otter will just find some way to say, hi, I'm the better tank, don't try this with me. It's working out really well on this offense for Otter, taking so much space and being able to just bait Eels into the ego duels.
Love to see that. It looks like Cosmic Castaways with some effective use of ultimates are able to pressure SEAL Team Spuds into that small corner, but with Magic Otter getting a little too aggressive, keeping them into that corner, Sleepy Eels is able to take them down as now Crimson's able to find a kill onto QB. And this might be a second point stop as now we're seeing the mid and back lines of Cosmic Castaways trying to peel now and continue to back as they're just going to be shredded by this incredible Bastion pick now. Sparks really showing some proficiency, able to actually boost themselves onto the high ground. If you didn't know this, you can actually boop yourself with Bastion's grenade. A lot of folks still are unaware of that. It works as like a little baby conch mine. And so now we have a Bastion on high ground. What could be scarier?
It plays a lot better at the end of this second point where there's just a lot of high grounds that it's hard for the attacking team to take. Specifically the one that Sparks is holding right now. You literally can't get up there as the Castaways. So Sparks is just able to hold a position that there's basically no pressure on. Although some Otter with a big shatter taking
both
down
Reinhardts. Yes, both Reinhardts going down early now as Magic Otter gets that headshot. You saw that correctly with the shatter. But with Sparks on that high ground, you're right. There's just not going to be any chance for Cosmic Castaways to push through this. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. That's going to offer at least 2, maybe 3 fights if they end very quickly here for Cosmic Castaways, which is not a lot of opportunity. But if you're looking at the ultimates and you're tracking them, you'll see that SEAL Team Spuds really are nowhere near to any important ultimates as Cosmic Castaways are probably going to find some DPS ultimates being committed in the mid fight of next engage, and that should rotate the momentum in their favor as they continue to rotate around the far side of this map, trying to take advantage of the fact that the Bastion doesn't have very effective distance damage, but Sparks now taking the close high ground. This might just shift the momentum in their favor as they're using a shift key here, trying to shut down the Sojourn, and the Sojourn attempting to ultimate, but getting very low from the Bastion, not getting to find any effectiveness out of it, but it looks like we will see... Yes, we will see the fight continue to slowly peter in here, as now Crimson no longer with the Immortality Field. That's going to mean that Sleepy Eels goes down with not enough expectation now coming from the support line of SEAL Team Spuds, and it looks like we may just slowly see Cosmic Castaways turn this into a second point take, as now the Blizzard is committed. Again, here's these mid-fight ultimates we were expecting. But with Water taking down Magic Otter, this is starting to look a little scrappy here, Nerfed.
I think with the DPS down that'll finally be the nail in the coffin. Although, as I say that, I realize that Crimson is still alive. But yeah, I think the OC, that will finally be the nail in the coffin, unless I cast a curse again. Yeah, and there it is. Crimson going down, and I think Sleepy and Zunix will follow. And yeah, that'll be the point 2 opened up for the Castaways.
An incredible scrappy fight now, as it looks like SEAL Team Spuds are really starting to actually find their stride, able to go toe-to-toe with the Castaways here. And now with 2 minutes remaining, that's going to be 1, maybe 2 fights now. with Cosmic Castaways, though, showing actually an ultimate economy slight deficit, but SEAL Team Spuds don't really have a lot to engage with. They just need to make do with what they have. And now with the Blizzard committed on the side of SEAL Team Spuds, that's going to create a lot of space for SEAL Team Spuds to move forward on. Both Immortality Fields now down for both teams, so these Reinhardts are going to be caught out. And it looks like SEAL Team Spuds Reinhardt is getting very low as Sleepy Eels goes down. Sparks and Sleepy Eels and Water all taken down now with Aphex and Magic Otter really pushing forward here. And that looks like it may just be it here. Nerfed as Cosmic Castaways push this final point.
There it was. The Bastion did give Castaways a little bit of trouble at the end of the second point there. Or at the end, yeah, at the end of the second point. But with one fight, they just had to deny the Bastion a bit of space, like deny his shift, and then they were able to take back the fight once that's out. And from there, they're just able to roll on to the second point. There's not a lot of high grounds for the Bastion to play, and they had a lot better of a time running into the Bastion when he was in a position that they could brawl out.
Absolutely. It was really, to be honest, it felt like a very close map. It's often the case that of all the maps in Overwatch, King's Row like often goes to an overtime round, and it often ends up being the deciding factor is kind of a 4-3 stat line. So it's interesting actually to see a 3-2 here. That goes to show that there were a lot of fights that got stalled out. And I think what we saw is a few scrappy fights that really slowed the game down. And then suddenly you might have a very quick fight What's up, Tranquility viewers? You are watching Season 10, Week 4 of Discord Tier, where the Cosmic Castaways are taking on the SEAL Team Spuds. And so far, Cosmic Castaways have been able to just barely eke out some of these maps. So far, now up 2 maps as we go into our third map, which may be the decider. Of course, we're doing a like first to 3 in these series. So we'll see if the Cosmic Castaways can keep this momentum up, or have the SEAL Team Spuds figured out something about the playstyle of Cosmic that they're going to take advantage of. Only we can find out as this match continues.
They definitely found an answer in the Bastion. When they were able to play around the Bastion, get them onto a high ground and like in a position where Castaways weren't able to really appropriately deal with it, that's when the Spuds looked at their best. And if they keep forcing the Brawl Mirror, I think that it could be a lot closer than the scoreline so far would say. But with that swap on the high ground, or not on the high ground, on the top of the stream, I think we're going Castaways are taking offense for Circuit Royale.
Nerf, I think you need to spend some time away from gaming. You just called the top of your screen the high ground.
I called the top of my screen the high ground. Wow.
A true team manager at play here, just constantly thinking about the game.
Wow, I need a break.
Too bad. You're going to keep casting it whether you like it or not. So as we heard, the next map is going to be Circuit Royale. That was selected by the SEAL Team Spuds. So it looks like we're going to be opting for a more pokey style, likely, as of course we all know the Sigma compositions tend to be pretty strong here. So it'll be interesting to see. Any thoughts on the Sigma composition between these two teams, Nerf?
I want to keep seeing the Brawl. I mean, the Escort is rough for Brawl in general. But I think you're able to see some Brawl be forced, and I haven't seen the poke yet from either one of these teams on in the series. So there's a very strong chance that Spuds, this is just like the comp they've been waiting for. But I believe if their win con was the poke, they would have probably picked a map like Hollywood, for the hybrid. So coming out here on a different comp than what has looked like their best, I'm interested to see how it plays. Because Castaways, maybe it's that, maybe it's just a Castaways are not as good at poke comp thing, that they've done their homework maybe. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, speaking of poke, now granted, we still have 10 seconds until the map starts, but it's interesting. I always look to the support line to get a sense for how the teams are going to play as far as tempo is concerned. It's interesting to see, of course, the Baptiste being mirrored, but with Zunix on the Zenyatta, oh, it looks like we will be mirrored on the Zenyatta from both sides. Okay, I thought the Moira might have come out on the side of Cosmic, but it looks like that we won't, as we're jumping already here into first fight. And it looks like Cosmic Castaway is looking to set up some multiple angles here as they look to push past this first corner.
The Widow duel. Ooh! Just barely. Aphex did not have that shot charged up enough, and Sparks is able to get a nasty flick to be able to take him down. But yeah, as I was saying before that pick, the Widow duel is going to be key here. Aphex is an insanely talented hit scan player. So I really want to see if they're able to take control of this map and put up some Widow main-esque performances, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, I do. As Widow main after my own heart with their performance last week. If you didn't get a chance, go check out his stream for one of the most impressive offensive pushes that you've ever seen on this map, decay level. But with that in mind, jumping back into our fight here. So with Aphex now back, of course, respawned and back to the team. Looks like Cosmic Castaways are getting like some semi-free push here, as although there haven't been any picks, it looks like SEAL Team Spuds are giving up a lot of space, potentially just to get some better angles to take this defense.
Sparks gave away their positioning. They knew they had the advantage in that fight, knowing where Aphex was before Aphex knew where they were. But unfortunately not able to hit the shot, and Aphex will find them. Although Water able to take Aphex down. Aphex is kind of the key of my cast right now. But Water is taking control of this defense, finding a lot of key picks on the Hanzo. Magic Otter will lift the Flux, and Water just finding a third with the Dragon onto QB. And it looks like this is just Water. Just Water things.
I think think the Cosmic Castaways were a little thirsty in that fight. And I think the SEAL Team Spuds might have sated their thirst there. Water finding their way into the kill feed.
Apex, and he's just like, no, put my name in your mouth. And I mean, yeah.
Some incredible play there. It would be interesting to see, excited to see a possible, if we get any chance to watch that one back. I'll be looking at the match codes for sure. As Aphex now responding with 2 incredible headshots.
Yeah, Aphex wants, it's just, the snipes on this map have been crucial, and it looks like this is just going to be the Castaways with those two early picks. However, the Spuds have their support line, and they still have the Sigma up. So it looks like this fight could, if they wait for the DPS to come back, which they have, this could still be the SEAL Team Spuds holding on.
It looks like actually, yes, the tempo from the side of Cosmic now kind of moving aggressively. It looks like already the cap now going to come on the side of Cosmic Castaway, so that point capture is going to be critical now, as they're able to get that much closer spawn point. They're able to now more aggressively take the high ground here, and looks like they're actually setting up very aggressively, hoping to hold underneath this pavilion here, and they may just be able to do that. But with the Hanzo already now pushing out, I wouldn't be surprised if SEAL Team Spuds are able to really aggressively push past this, even despite the fact of the aggressive position.
Yeah, I think that this window could be huge here. It's going to be able to at least keep Magic Otter up, allow him to hold the space that he has. But Eels is taking advantage of it, and unfortunately Eels will fall. So now Magic Otter is just able to take back all the space, create all the space in the world for the DPS line of the Castaways, and it will force Trance out as well from Zunix.
Forcing Trance, but Trance being an important piece now, able to keep up 4, as they're essentially just waiting for their tank, and they do have about 10 seconds or so before they need to touch. I don't know that Sleepy will be able to get there in time. It looks like Sleepy will make it there in time, as now they're going to aggressively push out. With Sparks hitting a headshot onto Aphex, that's really an important now 5v4, but with the Transcendence now committed on the side of Cosmic, that's going to mean that they have a lot more resources going into the late fight here, as Magic Otter is able to take down Sleepy. It looks like you now taking down Crimson. That's going to be a fight win now on the side of Cosmic, taking second point here on Circuit Royale.
The Castaways are willing to just play slow. They're losing the first pick in a lot of these fights, and even sometimes the second pick. But they're just holding on to space. They're holding their ground, and they know that if they let their DPS get some picks, maybe hit some Discord orbs with QB. They can get some serious damage done even when they're down in fights.
Absolutely.
Going to go to a pause.
Quick pause as technical difficulties. Who knows at this point? But with all that in mind, it's always fun to watch this map. This is a map that it definitely reminds me a lot of. I think Rialto may be what I'm thinking of. I mean, you could pick one. There's definitely been a few in the past where it's offered for some extremely long sight lines to give snipers the ability to kind of find success. I really like the map pool right now. I feel like it definitely results in some interesting composition changes over the course of the maps that get selected. So it sounds like we may be running into some mouse difficulties. So hopefully that player can get a feline, a cat of some kind to take care of that issue. I'm sorry, that was so bad. Here we're alive here. Who's still watching?
We're going back. That was so bad that it fixed the issue.
I bet you never heard a mouse joke before. Anyways, jumping right back into it, it looks like now Aphex looking to find some cheeky little jiggle peeks here against Sparks, but Sparks obviously has the walls up, so Aphex knows how to play that effectively. Aphex now coming up with the walls of their own, already at 75% to that, as we're seeing some interesting duels going on the outside of the map. Aphex now with the walls down, able to take down Sparks now with a headshot, and Aphex with 2, able to find Zunix as well. That's a really important kill now, as that's going to set the stage for a very important momentum shift. We all know how hard it is to cap the third point here on Circuit, and it looks like they may just be able to do that on the back of Aphex's headshots. And now with the walls up, we may be able to find more as we find another one onto Crimson. Whoa. Aphex just on an absolute tear. Aphex finding Zunix as well. And with Onyx taking down Sleepy, this might be a third point here taken on the side of Cosmic.
That third point is so hard to cap, but they were able to create enough space. It's not over, though. They will get some stall, the Spuds. Wow, that's 2 times in a row that I've said it's not over, and then it becomes over. They, Otter was just able to create enough space when they had some picks, and kind of stagger out the lives of the Spuds. And then they just got enough cart progression there that the Spuds were not able to come back in with a recontest. So yeah, definitely some great play from Otter, being able to set up in ways that is able to enable Aphex and QB as well. I think is getting some crucial picks. Yoon supplying as well some background fire. Not in the kill feed a whole ton, but definitely dealing a lot of damage, as we've seen a couple bobs coming out on their offense.
Yeah, so far it looks like actually the DPS lines from both teams finding a lot of effectiveness.
Ooh.
And I think at this point it's really just a matter of whether we can see the same amount of success now coming from SEAL Team Spuds, as we're seeing some pretty intense composition changes. I wonder if this is going to hold as we have 20 seconds left before the gates open. And this looks like it might be a form of aggressive brawl with a sim TP to get you into the pocket.
I like it, kind of, but I feel like water swapping to the Hanzo is interesting. I don't know if I like it with the Ram necessarily. This is a comp that you see a lot of times with the D.Va, specifically the backline, and if water had stayed on the Genji, definitely something that is not uncommon. But I guess we'll have to see how the Ramatra fares on this map going into the Sigma, who I just feel like has significantly better poke and is able to weather down the Ramatra.
Agreed, as we're already seeing Otter able to find a lot of damage onto Sleepy. Sleepy now getting taken down very low, just really trying to block, but with Water taking down Aphex, hang on a second. Spuds might be cooking with this comp here, as they're able to kind of distract in some ways with the Ramatra pick. It's almost like, what the heck is that? Oh, that's a Ram. Can we kill it? And by the time you've had that thought process, 2 of you are dead, as Water is able to find a lot of success now coming out from the high ground.
Water is doing a lot in these fights. His Hanzo has been absolutely phenomenal so far. Otter will find a pick early onto Crimson, and it looks like Castaways are willing to take back some of the space that they lost from the initial fight.
Absolutely, as now, unfortunately, we are seeing some slowdown here, but maybe an effective little bit of peel here, as it looks like we're just running into some issues with some support health now, as Nyx is able to take down Water. He might have just been a little bit caught out there. Nyx has been known to act as what is effectively a DPS that can also heal. So Aphex now finding a headshot on a Tracer, not an easy task, and that is going to tend to really slow down SEAL Team Spuds' offense here.
A big nano.
A huge nano. But with the Ana being taken down, it looks like it may just be the Ram slowly getting kind of poked away, as it looks like Cosmic Castaways are going to be a hold on to this high ground and retake it.
Yeah, the flux there completely to just deny the nano. Give Ram a nano and he can be deadly. So I really like that flux coming out from Otter, as we see Aphex trying to deal with the Tracer in their backline. This is interesting. I feel like the Spuds need to be playing faster. They're playing very slow, and they're allowing Castaways to do a lot of poke onto them, as we see Yoon get another pick onto Water to open up this fight.
Yeah, it looks like it's really finding a lot of success from the hit scan onto these high ground, and Nyx, of course, able to literally play like 3 heroes at once, as he's able to peel for his backline and heal his backline, as well as aggressively pump out damage onto the front line of SEAL Team Spuds. So some really effective both positioning and mechanical execution coming from the support line of Cosmic Castaways. As now it's going to be really challenging to push past this low ground, as the payload is not offering a lot of support, as it got pushed pretty far up, but it's slowly kind of finding its way back as Aphex pops the sights, and that's going to mean SEAL Team Spuds essentially have to wait this out, because as we all know, a decent Widow with sights up is going to be a really challenging thing to kite. So with all that in mind, we're jumping into the potentially last fight of this round.
They're not doing enough. Water will get a huge pick on the QB. That is, I think, exactly what the Spuds need, and the Dragon is also going to be huge. There it is. That was the fight that Spuds needed. They before that just were playing way too slow. but able to dump in 2 ults and take a couple ults from the Castaways as well. I think that's very much going to be a crucial fight for the Spuds as they're able to finally get some progress here on the first point of circuit.
Something I really love to see is that combo between the Ramatra being able to kind of pull and slow the enemy team in a radius, and then comboing that with the Hanzo Dragon Strike. It turns out to be, in some cases, a really effective ultimate. It looks like it did find success there as Apex is able to take out Zunix now, starting off the fight with Cosmic Castaways with a pick onto the Ana. But with Sparks taking down QB, that's a support now down from both teams as Apex looking to turn this thing around as Water's able to find a headshot onto Yoon and destroying the Immortality Field. Crimson now taking down Magic Otter and Sparks finishing off Apex. Excuse me, that's going to be now a first point take from SEAL Team Spuds, a critical take for them as they hope to keep their dreams alive of not getting swept.
They've, ever since that fight where Water came alive, he popped the dragons, was able to just deal a ton of damage onto the Castaways, those last 2 fights on the first point have looked so much cleaner from the Spuds. They're playing a lot faster, their ult usage has been really good, as we see the Tracer emoting on cart. I like a lot more what we're seeing from Spuds now than what we saw at the beginning of this offense. Definitely some great adaptations.
Agreed, but unfortunately, of course, Apex able to catch out a couple of the members of the SEAL Team Spuds as they stand a little aggressively on some of those high grounds. Maybe resting on their laurels a little bit here as now they're finding themselves kind of falling apart here on second point, but they know they've got time. And it looks like now the ultimate economy is slightly in the favor of SEAL Team Spuds as they're now with the Transcendence and the Nano Boost, as well as the Pulse Bomb. Now, a very effective combo that we've seen used in the past, especially against teams without a Lucio or anything that can get you out of dodge, is the Ramatra plus Nano combo ultimate. And that could be a point take easily, especially as we're going into second point here. Now, Magic Otter getting somewhat low as Sparks is looking to close things out with the Pulse Bomb. No luck on the Pulse, but baits the Transcendence out. So now we're seeing a Transcendence being used by QB, and this might be the trick now for SEAL Team Spuds to push forward aggressively. But with Nyx taking down Sparks, again, Nyx always finding some success there. And Yoon able to find a kill onto Water with a floor pulse, as we call it. Now we're seeing the Cosmic Castaways definitely holding their own here as Apex is able to take down Crimson. And that looks like it may be possibly last fight territory, as it may be difficult to regroup and get back onto the point here. So this might be the dreams of SEAL Team Spuds being slowly taken away as Apex getting very low, but able to find a couple kills there in the late fight against SEAL Team Spuds. Spuds switching over to the Lucio to hopefully be able to get grouped and touch before these last 10 seconds are over.
This is rough, but Castaways don't really have ults either, so the swaps aren't the worst thing in the world. I think that Spuds will get a touch here. Yeah, Zunix touches the point. The window, however, will just be able to provide so much extra damage. And with 2 picks down, this looks like it's going to be the Castaways' favor. Heals will fall to Nyx, and nobody else is even close. And that'll be Castaways finding the win, finding the 3-0 here in this series so far.
Absolutely. I actually love to see the swaps that came from Cosmic Castaways. We talked before about the idea of adapting to a fight. And I think Cosmic Castaways definitely identified on that second point that some of those long-range options weren't going to be as effective. They find themselves swapping to the Sojourn and the Tracer and just got a ton of value out of those into that second point. So jumping back in now, that is going to be technically now the win in favor of Cosmic Castaways. So congratulations, Cosmic, so far with 3, of course, best 2-3, excuse me. But we will still play a 4th map, and map differential does matter. So SEAL Team Spuds are going to look to see if they can't get a map win to improve their differential as we're going into our 4th map, which is...
I am not sure. Esperanca. Yeah, map differential matters a lot more in this season of Trank. Because the pools, there are now 8 teams in each pool. Not everybody's gonna play everybody, whereas in the past, like, there were only 6 teams, so you would play everybody else in your pool. So strength of schedule on top of the map differential is very important in being able to figure out which pool you're going to get. SEAL Team Spuds, I believe now that they're down to 2-2 officially in the record, they're not going to be able to vie for an A pool spot, maybe even not a B pool spot. However, you can definitely keep your hopes alive for a C pool, maybe even a D pool, if you're able to take a map here.
Absolutely. So again, just really doubling down on the importance of map differential. SEAL Team Spuds, like definitely looking like there's a lot of glimmers of hope here as they're able to really get scrappy with it. I think what I want to see is after a couple fight wins, I want to see SEAL Team Spuds really kind of have an effective fight plan and not rest on their laurels too much when they win some of these fights. I think they're definitely getting hyped whenever they pop off, and you're seeing some goofy positioning maybe taking place soon thereafter that Cosmic Castaways are able to punish. So if SEAL Team Spuds can kind of keep that excitement under wraps, we may expect to see them continue to roll fights, fight after fight. So again, Esperanza being our 4th map here. This is a map that, obviously is new to Overwatch 2. And this tends to be a map, I think, that really, honestly, I've seen a lot of compositions played on and a lot of compositions be effective over the course of the various metas. It's a map that, as long as you're able to utilize some of those health pack rooms almost as like mini checkpoint areas effectively, you can expect to see a lot of success, as we're already seeing some pretty major differences between the two teams' compositions here, assuming we keep these as we have 10 seconds before doors open. Already we're seeing Sleepy Eels on the ball while Magic Otter is on the Doomfist. So some interesting differences here, Nerfed.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to the decision to play the ball here on this map. Because it's looked like Spuds they've favored the brawl for a lot more of the series. It's what they've looked best on so far. And now they come to a map where brawl is definitely still viable, and they're playing the ball comp into the Doom comp from the Castaways, which is something I'm very excited to see.
Absolutely, as Otter is already jumping right in here. Unable to find anything yet so far, but it looks like Cosmic Castaways may have a slight advantage in terms of the geometry of the map, as Sleepy gets in very deep now on the ball, gets taken down to about 20% HP, but able to get away. But with Magic Otter taking down Sparks, that means that the Doom gets to get away with a lot more, as there's no longer a hack in his way, as Magic Otter now takes down Crimson as well. Able to find a lot of success there, as Aphex getting a headshot onto Water, and Yoon closing it out with a kill onto Zunix. That's going to be a fight win on the side of a Doomfist composition in the form of Cosmic Castaway.
Doom is not the worst. Doom is definitely he has a role in the meta. But it looked like Spuds there were just all over the place. They were too discoordinated and they weren't able to get a dive target, let alone like survive themselves. They got dove on pretty hard by the Doomfist, and it looked like they were just not able to hold space they needed in that fight.
Agreed, as we're seeing, of course, Sleepy Eels getting in very deep, but then having to peel for his own HP very quickly, as Magic Otter immediately able to take down Zunix. That's going to mean already a 5v4 in the favor of Cosmic. But with Sojourn getting very low on the side of Cosmic, can this ball take them down? As Doomfist already able to get an ultimate here, Magic Otter really showing a lot of proficiency here on the character, as Nyx on the Kiriko is able to find 2. Nyx popping off, able to then close out on some targets, as we know. Kiriko very challenging to, be able to find some of those mid-fight kills unless you're really able to kind of weave in heals and damage. And Nyx showing a lot of proficiency on the Kiriko, normally known for Baptiste gameplay, but has recently been showing a lot of proficiency on the Kiriko. Very exciting to see that. Of course, we see the One Punch Man skin on the side of Magic Otter, giving him a 20% buff to all attributes. And with Sleepy committing this mines early, that's going to mean that point's going to be a lot harder to take. And it's essentially Cosmic Castaways backing off, saying, hey, listen, you can have that space. We're going to take the fight up here on the high ground.
Yeah, they have the advantage. They don't have to win this fight immediately. They can give up space. They can let the Spuds take back some meters, and they're gonna play in a space that advantages them more than the Spuds. As we'll see Aphex get a pick onto Water, and hopefully that'll be able to open back up the fight for the Castaways, and they'll be able to take back some of the space they earned.
Absolutely. Both teams with a lot of ultimates coming online. This is going to look like a fight that probably will see 6 ultimates committed. It's just going to be a matter of time before some of these are in. So looks like we're seeing a Kitsune rush on the side of Cosmic Castaways with Nyx looking to pop off here. Nyx finding some kills, importantly hitting Sparks there, as now we're moving forward with some of these buffs now. Coming from the Kitsune rush, able to find a lot of success now. It looks like Cosmic Castaways might be able to just handily take this fight with only 1 ultimate used there. That's going to be some really effective gameplay coming from Cosmic.
yeah, they'll cap the point. Cosmic, however, or not Spuds rather, are building up for something big. They've got 4 ults and a 5th on the way. So it looks like they're just saving up for a mega fight. And it looks like here early, Water will fall with the blade. Otter will use his slam and find a little bit of space on the high ground as we see him punch into the backline of the Spuds.
And it looks like Magic Otter will be taken down by a Pulse Bomb stick from Spark, so some effective use of some kind of almost counter dive strategies here. Now coming on the side of Cosmic, and it looks like with Sparks and Zunix both going down, this is a very scrappy fight as we expect to see oftentimes with divey ball compositions. But it looks like Cosmic Castaways will just barely eke this out as Yoon is going to start to walk this payload, I guess you call it a payload, this bot forward just slightly past this checkpoint. But with that enhanced now respawns support from the side of Cosmic, it's really kind of an even area here. Cosmic, you're gonna have to push this a little bit farther forward before the respawns start to go in the favor of SEAL Team Spuds, as we're seeing it engage now coming from the side of SEAL Team.
Yeah, the bot has entirely been on the side of the Castaways for a large majority of this map. But even if there's like a lot of fights happening, they're willing to just give up space and play a longer fight. Magic Otter's Doomfist has been really good. I wonder where the Magic Fist has been all this time. I've never known Otter to be a Doomfist player. But I guess Doom has also just kind of stuck into the meta. But Castaways here with pretty much 5 ults. Nyx will build up to back Kitsune pretty quickly, and Spuds are doing a comp swap. So it looks like this is just going to be, if Castaways can play this right, they could honestly get a full cap just off of their ultimate advantage.
Exactly, and as we're heading into some of the possibly last fights of this match, Nerf, I'm going to let you take this over as I just take one moment as an aside here. I will return momentarily.
Jonesy's getting his food, as we'll see. The Castaways able to take an advantage with Yoon finding the pulse on the Sleepy Eels, and Magic committing the Meteor Strike. And they'll save their support ults, and Aphex has the overclock here. So a long sightline at the end of this map on Esperanza, and that's exactly where Aphex wants to play. Aphex is going to be looking for some insane kills. Hopefully, Magic Otter on the Doomfist will be able to disrupt the Spuds and create some space, and Aphex will find a huge OC, able to get Sparks out early as Magic Otter dives into the backline and finds Water. Aphex in the backline now will find 3 this fight, almost make it 4, but Magic Otter will clean up the last 2. And like I said, here we are on the final couple meters of this map, as just that final swap onto the brawl comp from the Spuds was not enough for them to be able to find some space. They lost the ult economy. Aphex will find Water, and the picks are just going insanely in the favor of the Castaways here. Crimson will find Nyx, and it looks like they might be able to turn it for the Spuds a little bit. However, unfortunately, Aphex finding another pick on the Zunix looks like it might be the final stone in the final nail in the coffin, as Castaways will win this match 4-0 with a full cap on Esperanza. And Jonesy is not here to see it.
I actually, I am
it.
here. I got a chance. I was just in awe and admiration of your ability to both play-by-play and color at the same time. Cosmic Castaways, I got to watch a few of those final fights there, and obviously Aphex able to find just an incredible amount of value on the Sojourn character. Aphex really kind of showing off some incredible proficiency on the Sojourn character, kind of throughout that entire map, I would say. And now you're going to see a 4-0 sweep on the side of Cosmic Castaways. So Cosmic definitely showing off their ability to execute, especially against some of these legendary teams, of course, like SEAL Team Spuds. So definitely an incredible match already this evening, as we are getting into now some of our final statements. So I want to tease. So we're going to be talking about player of the match here, Nerfed. Any shot that you have thoughts on your player of the match?
I definitely do. And like I couldn't get his name out of my mouth on circuit. Aphex is a player that since the beginning of the offseason I've been very, very high on. Coming in from CS, like it's just, you know, like I've had Sime on my team for 2 seasons in a row now. An ex ex Rainbow Pro, Rainbow Semi Pro, I guess. But I just love the idea of bringing a mechanical warlord from another game into the Discord tier of Tranquility. It's proven success in the past. So Aphex will be my player of the match in this, because the Widow, the Sojourn look really, really good from Aphex here.
Totally agreed. I mean, you can see it. The proof is in the pudding here with, again, Prod. Thank you for these incredible, like, moment-to-moment replays. This was not communicated. Prod is just somehow able to pull these out immediately. So we get to see some of the incredible
Great
plays from
picks.
Aphex here immediately. And we get to watch as Aphex is able to just mechanically show off here in some of these clips. And totally agreed. Aphex was such a critical role for Cosmic Castaway's success, I think, later on. I really want to call out, in my opinion, early on, we saw a huge amount of momentum and coordination between the front and back line of Cosmic Castaways in the form of Magic Otter and Onyx. So I almost want to give my sort of player of the match to that duo. Magic Otter and Onyx are able to really effectively communicate with one another. You can tell they're on the same page.
Yeah.
You even see in some cases Magic Otter being walled off, but Nyx is still able to bail them out, as then Otter is then, because they were bailed out, able to then super effectively find things like Earth Shatters, finds things like team engages, especially early on. Exactly. Early on in these fights. So I think if we're talking about late maps, I agree. Aphex definitely showing a huge amount of proficiency mechanically, but early on with Magic Otter and Onyx and the combination, you see a brawl composition from Cosmic that's very, very scary. And I mean, this, you almost wonder, like, this almost doesn't look like a Discord team. Like, you could almost see this team squaring up to some Transcendence tier teams, especially on this brawl composition that they were showing early on. Some really effective plays there. I just have to give it to that duo because they're great. And I love to see a great Reinhardt, and I love to see a great Reinhardt getting as much attention from their backline as we saw on the side of Cosmic Castaways. So really, really impressive gameplay there. So Nerf, any other thoughts before I jump into some of our plugs for other Tranquility shows?
I believe mathematically the Castaways might be the first team to lock a pool. I believe that Castaways now, with the map differential they have, as well as the 4-0 record, I believe that they have locked a pool here, which is exciting. I'm not sure what maybe like Beat Drop Bears, MI7, some of the other teams that were undefeated so far, what their score lines have been. But Castaways, I believe, are mathematically locked in for a pool, which is exciting.
Congratulations, Cosmic, as you are showing off what a team with this amount of coordination and effectiveness is capable of. So really cool stuff there. So Nerfed, I hear Bronze Banter and Late Night Show with Thug are coming up this week. When are those shows going live?
So I'll be back with Bronze Banter on Saturday at 10:30 EST, and then on Sunday, after Scrims Tonight with Lord Thuggington will be live. Those will be the shows to get you through the weekend. I believe Thug is doing some more Hall of Fame inductees, as well as some interviews with those members. It'll be fun. A lot of good content to get you through the weekend. Definitely an exciting way to end the week here with the Castaways versus Spuds match. Yeah, honestly, really great match, even though it's a 4-0 scoreline. Definitely a lot closer on some of those maps than the score would say. So, yeah.
And that's it for us, Tranquility viewers. Thank you for watching. This has been Discord Tier Season 10, Week 4. I've been your host, Jonesy, alongside Nerfed, and our production team today, who did an incredible job, were Laggyson, Unfeatured, and Nick, and Milkster. And we all wish you, all 6 of us, happy gaming, and you have a great night. See you soon.